This was the start of the tournament, the Uzbek Chess Cup. Neither Jan Nepomniachtchi nor Hans Niemann shaking hands with one another. Fast forward, it's round 8. They're both up and down in this tournament and they sit down to play each other. Nepo with white, Niemann with black. Will they shake hands? Yes, they did. The clock started. Now the fighting's going to be done on the board here. Nepo opens up with the king pawn, best by test, and we get this absolutely fascinating game. We got prep coming out our ears here. Wait till you see the ending. It's incredible. And there's a real twist to this, something really funny that went on. Let's just have a look at the game here. Bishop b5 is played. The Roy Lopez, named after J-Lo's uncle, of course. Now we see a6, kicking back the bishop. Both players with the hour and 30 on the clock, and they get some time added back per move. Knight f6, castles, bishop e7. We're in a standard main line here. This pawn kicks back the bishop. It backs up. Castles played. And c3 was the main line for many a year, but then you have to contend with the Marshall Gambit. Very dull, very drawish, at least at the highest levels of chess. So this is a so-called anti-Marshall move. Attacking this pawn chain here, but before you can say, show us your dance moves, there they go. They're both beautiful bumpers and grinders and shakers. Niemann gains that space. Keeps his pawn structure nice and fluid, not compromised. d4 now from Jan. And how about this? We get this mass liquidation here. Everything going into the blender, including the queens. Apologies, I'm a bit blocked up. The hay fever or allergies you'd call it. I'm also sunburnt like no tomorrow. Looking like a beetroot over here. I'm doing my best, trying to breathe. Knight d2's played. Now hang on. Why are you chopping everything off the board and developing the knight? Are you looking for a draw? Well, actually, no. Bishop c5. Jan is rolling out here some 2021 Magnus Carlsen level prep. Wow. He now plays the knight round to f3. So he hits this pawn. Allows knight g4. His king position about to get ruined. This is what he's got planned in response. And after bishop takes, this is what he's got planned. Doubling the pawns voluntarily obviously makes sense because otherwise you'd have lost the rook. But why are you going for this in the first place? Why are you not throwing in pawn h3 at an earlier moment? Jan's got some deep ideas here. It's all to come. Niemann now has a little think about what to do and comes up with the excellent rook d6. Prepares doubling on the d file with the rooks and can support a bishop e6 move in some lines. It's very good chess. Bishop d5 is now played by Jan, and it's just like, what is that move? Because it hits this rook, yes, and provokes this move, yes. But after the bishop backs up, you've simply given black a moment, an extra move to develop here. Niemann's now got all his bits out, and he's prepared to double up with the rooks. Well, you're going to see the point of provoking this pawn forward. It's truly incredible. Rook a d1 is now played, fighting for the only open file. And we've got to ask the question, why can't you take rook recaptures, then let's say you shatter the structure, and then you win a pawn here. A clean pawn, a good pawn. Here's a sample line. Rook c1's a move, knight d4. Long story short, white will win back the pawn, and in all variations, it's always white that's a little bit better and pushing. This is just one sample, not best play. Let's back it up here. So that's why you didn't see this mass liquidation or some variation of it. We saw rook a d8, doubling on the d file. Best way to play. Fair play to Niemann. Takes was on the board. Rook recaptures. Now bishop takes. Rook takes looking so natural, but pawn takes selected. Best move. Keeps fighting for the d file. Still h3 is not played. This is some deep stuff from Jan. Instead, king f1. Rotating around towards the centre there. Knight f6 now backs up and hits this one, but drops this one. If Jan wants to take it, he does not. He activates the king simply. Knight takes on e4. And now if you get a bit trigger happy here, you allow an invasion with rook d2, supported by the knight. So this was played. And again, it's just like, how can you play like this? You're a pawn down, of course, and still be okay. Still living to tell the tale. What's the best move here? Sorry, king f8, knight takes on e5. And again, it's these themes of, yes, the material's level, but it's white who's actually got the initiative. Pawn already attacked. Then you could roll around and attack this one maybe. A pawn's advanced. These endgames can be dangerous. Let's back it up. We didn't see takes. Niemann plays rook d5. He's finding all the best moves. Fair play to him. The chess is speaking. Knight takes played, restoring the material. And with the pawn attacked, it has to advance. Niemann's doing everything right. But look at those clock times. This is nuts. Jan is a full hour ahead. 10 minutes more than when he started. This is move 26. King's now marching this way, and look at where it's headed. King f8, knight c6, king e8, rushing around. You know, you couldn't come to the natural e7 because of the knight. There it goes, that king. Knight b8 now hits the pawn, and hands correctly does not defend it. If you push, natural, then you can go king f4, king e7, king e5, and you've gained the opposition. You're attacking this pawn. If the knight backs off, then there's knight c6 check. And this is dropping soon. It's very, very bad. So hands correctly activates his king. Yes, he loses a pawn. But he's saying now your knight is trapped in the corner. How are you going to get out of that box? What should black play here? King d7. But we're into the back cave analysis mode. It was missed. The real point of this move is that if white tries to rush in the king, then you stop it. And you keep the knight boxed in. You don't actually go and win it. You just keep it boxed in. Should be a draw. With best play. Don't get me wrong. This was, however, played. Big mistake. Because Jan can now rush in. Show this deep understanding of the position, sacrificing an entire knight, but it's so he can gobble the center, force this knight to retreat, you know, it's attacked, this is the game, and pick up, what is that, 3 pawns for a noble steed. And that is a lot in this endgame. Knight g4 from Niemann. E-pawn saved, of course. That's the passer, that's the runner. It's going on its bike soon. First we get this b3 move to defend the a4 pawn. Knight backing up, and there it goes. Kicking back this one unceremoniously. Niemann's thrashing at this stage. It's a stunning preparation display from Jan Nepomniachtchi, then executed in a real game. Niemann's getting trousered at this point. He just can't hold everything. The knight's now tied down. Yes, we exchange prisoners here, but white's just got too many pawns. And in this position, king e4, Niemann resigns. Nepo's barely used 8 minutes off his starting time, 7 minutes. If you step in for the opposition, fine, but these white pawns just run, and they're irresistible. You can't even sack a knight for 2 pawns, or else the a-pawn runs. There's nothing to be done. King steps in, this is dropping, this is running, these are running. Too much. Game over. Incredible prep by Jan. He takes down Hans Niemann. The spiciness continues. Hope you enjoyed this one. Do have a look at the video on screen if you want to see some more epic chess, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.